lesser fool is living my life, is wearing smiles that should have been mine. So if you'll come along with me, we'll slowly turn ourselves into trees, forever our branches blowing in the breeze.
Compared to the last album, this album is miles above it. You know, you're upping your artistry, you're upping your creativity. The songs are fantastic. The sounds you got are fantastic.
Well, the first album was a collection of songs that we had written over a period of years and we really enjoyed and wanted to record. Above the Blue was a little more deliberate.
I think in terms of the writing, Eric and John really raised it up a notch on this CD, and I think they raised up a notch in terms of pulling out performances from the rest of the band.
Desert highway, the better part of me.
You know, The Better Part, I think, is the best song on this album. It's arranged very well, it unfolds well, it was recorded well, and it peaks extremely well.
Again, I kind of like the stuff that has a lot of power and a little bit of aggression to it. And so, you know, songs like Better Part, which, you know, the first time I heard the demo with that from Eric, I knew that was going to be a great song. That just popped out immediately.
Yeah, so, you know, you're always trying to think of a killer line when you're writing songs that everyone will enjoy. And so I came up with that, you know, She Does It For Me. And
that, of course, has the guitar work of Vinnie Zummo, who played with Joe Jackson and a number of other really well-known artists. And Vinnie had heard us, I think, one time on one of the internet radio stations and had contacted me and said he really liked our sound, and we were, of course, very flattered by that. And he also sent along his video to the song Ringo, which, of course, is wonderful guitar work, as all the stuff he did was. And so we got talking a little bit, and next thing we knew, he had asked members of Vegas with Randolph to sing on his CD, which was coming out, and we were part of his global choir and sang on that. And he also agreed to play guitar on one of ours, and we're just really happy with the guitar work that he did on She Does It For Me.
I just wanted to say what a joy it was to play on the song She Does It For Me. Like all great songs, it sounded as if it had always been there, yet you know it was something unique and totally new. Thank you so much for asking me to play on the song, and I hope the album is a really huge success.
So I think it was shortly after we had our first radio interview on Twirl Radio when we heard from Maxie Dunn, and she had heard the interview and mentioned that she liked our music. And we had also been a fan of Maxie's for a while and had heard a lot from her Soonville album. And so I just threw out the idea that, what do you think about singing on one of our songs?
The lesser fool is living my life, is wearing smiles that should have been mine, and stays at what would have been my place, sipping my champagne.
A lesser fool sits on the couch and he laughs until the sun comes out. I listen to my CD collection and never hears me speak of you.
It was a real joy to do it. I'd always, you know, it's a dream to do a duet, an album of duets basically, and I'd never done a male-female duet song before. So yeah, I really enjoyed doing it, and it was a real pleasure, and it's great to be on their album as well. I think I came across Vegas with Randolph on Facebook actually from when I think it was probably getting played on Pop Garden Radio, where, you know, a lot of bands and musicians normally sort of meet each other through being played on the same radio shows. So eventually we decided that, you know, we would do a duet together. So eventually Eric sent me a song called The Lesser Fool. So I took it away and recorded some harmony vocals. I think I kept true to the original suggestions. And with anything, a two-way harmony always ended up being a six-way harmony with me because I just can't help myself.
And, you know, just sort of that vibe that she gives that song is totally unique.
You're hearing the Talk to Me station, AM 1300 WNEL, Cocoa Beach, Melbourne. This is Pop Garden Radio. I'm your host, Adam Waltmeyer, And Vegas with Randolph is a band, and we've been playing them a lot here on Pop Garden Radio ever since. And we've thrown out some debuts. One of their songs, A Better Part, was on the Pop Garden Radio Presents the Rock on the Road Tour CD, which came out last August. And I just found out that that song was Song of the Year on Twirl Radio, so won a Twirly tonight, so congratulations to the guys right there. And tonight, we're debuting another song from Vegas with Randolph. And it's a duet with one of our favorites here on Pop Garden Radio, Maxie Dunn. This song is called A Lesser Fool, and I hope you enjoy this as much as I do. It's making its world premiere right here on Pop Garden Radio.
Marissa is a song that John wrote, and it's a pretty cute song. It's about a personality on television named Marissa, and it's all about syncopation, and John does a great job on it, and you're really going to love this song.
I'm in love with Marissa, or maybe see I did, I've been in love with Marissa. Either way, I'm in love with Marissa Tomei.
I actually traded off that solo with Eric. He does like some keyboard finagling. One thing we've really been enjoying over the last couple months is watching the artwork come together on the Above the Blue CD. And we had some really great graphic designers and artists who contributed to this. The original cover design was developed by Mick Dillingham, and Mick really took the idea from the lyrics to the song Above the Blue about the angels above the clouds, and developed it into this image of the angel holding the band above the blue earth below, which really just struck us, and we thought was really both playful and cool to look at the same time. It would make a great t-shirt. So we love that. And then we've been talking with our longtime friend Nancy Hardy about doing the graphic design for the entire album. So she's worked with us and really developed the bulk of the rest of it, which includes the 6-panel fold-out and the 8-page booklet, and you'll see a lot of examples of that online. It's just some wonderful stuff. Again, all kind of taking the idea of the angels and being above the blue in the sky to another level.
Lagavulin, that was a fun song. You know, anyone who's heard that song, that's a lot more of just an old kind of punkish rock and roll song.
Everybody knows that to be able to sell a product, you have to be able to believe in it. And believe me, we went to task on that with Lagavulin to make sure that it was appropriate to write a song about, and it was.
And really what we wanted to do there is just have a lot of energy. Another great song on there that is really kind of came out of the blue is the Tree Song. Just the way John recorded that and wrote that, and the strings was really cool. And that's one of those songs that I think will stick with people for a long time.
It was originally a rather flippant and humorous little song that had a lot of nonsense words in it and silly verses, but the melody was really nice. So we went to work on the lyrics, and it kind of evolved into a a little more serious, but still a light song about you know, two people kind of being together and being true to each other through an analogy of trees.
So we met Wim Oudijk about a year ago, and I'd really been taken with some of his string arrangements, things he'd done for the Big I Am and Todd Dillingham and others, and that got me thinking. We'd had this song that had been around for quite a while that John had written called The Tree Song, and I'd always pictured that it would be just a single acoustic guitar and an orchestra, and meeting Wim was just the perfect ingredient to finally record that song.
I went on a hike. This is over the summer, and I was up in the mountains, West Virginia, whatnot, and I kept hearing this rubbing sound, and it was kind of creaky and kind of spooky, kind of like, you know, it's just like, what is that? And I kept looking around, and of course you're in the forest, you're in the mountains, and then I saw way, 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 way up there was these two trees, and they had grown and they had crossed each other, and the wind was blowing, and they were rubbing against each other, making this really interesting noise. And you can see where they've been rubbing, and where the bark was rubbed off on it and whatnot, and I was like, that's what the Tree Song is all about. So it's a very enlightening song, and I just love listening to it.
And on a sunny day, we'll branch out together, or just enjoy the weather and sing. It's not easy being green. And when the rain does fall, it won't bother us at all. Growing roots right next to you is nothing I'd ever rather do.
So we're finishing up our first CD, and John came in with this song called Above the Blue. And the first thing I thought, even before I heard the song, is, wow, that would be a great title for an album. Then a little while later, we were talking amongst the band and about the ideas for the second CD and what that would be all about. And we really had this concept that in the past, a lot of our songs had dwelled a little bit on the melancholy side of things. We really wanted to make kind of an up album, a party album, a fun album, a very positive album. And so again, the idea of Above the Blue, which was a song we actually planned to record on this, seemed to ring very true for the album title, and that's what we stuck with.
You know, there's a lot of things on this album I think that are really good. You know, maybe perhaps it rises above what you hear on the radio now, or you don't hear. But for me, I hear a lot of melodies, a lot of vocal harmonies that are really, really good. And the words, you gotta listen to the words.
Making music, it might be climbing mountains, it might be dancing barefoot in the palace water fountain. So go fishing in Alaska, look for Incas in Peru. It doesn't matter what it is, you gotta find a way to do it. 'Cause you and I will break and we will all be dead already, and nobody ever says I wish I'd only worked my whole life away.
Double Play, I was the most anticipated song for me on this album. Coming up, I was wondering what it was going to be. You know, I didn't know what the songs were going to be. I didn't know, you know, how long they were going to be. But I knew that it was going to be something great. But it kind of just had that thematic type of different movements that are kind of strung together that tells like this overall story. Usually if you just do a song, it's just like like a skit, like an episode of something that kind of happens. It's not thematic. It doesn't take you through the different mood changes that, you know, that everyone is like subjected to in your day-to-day life and routines.
You know, all those, you can hear a lot of the influences within the band, and certainly within Eric and John. You know, from the Beatles, from kind of Cheap Trick type of stuff to a little bit more of a modern, almost kind of Radiohead kind of sound. You hear all that just in that one kind of, you know, long song. So you know, I think there's a lot of great cuts in there that you'll dig too.
One of the things I really enjoy about this album, in the final song, Double Play, we had the opportunity to have somebody I've known a very long time play some guest trumpet on the album. We had recently learned, again through the internet, that a guy who I went to school with and was actually in band with back in Illinois, where I grew up, had put out an album with his band, Groove Duke. and his name is Mark Cornell. And so we contacted him and said, look, we'd love to have another Central Illinois native come be a guest musician on this project. And Mark did, and actually brought with him the saxophone player from his band, a guy named Jonathan Beckett. And you can hear their work both on the introduction piece, End of the Party, and in the Light of Day outro of our medley double play.
16 candles long gone down the drain. But at the end of the party, who am I to complain? So can I walk?
Even though it was written a very long time ago, and the verse is essentially the same, but it had a different chorus, which, quite frankly, wasn't any good. But there was this one little session, probably a 1 weeknight deal, where Eric and I were together in an apartment, and we were just going through old things and trying new things. And sometime that one night, we made a tape of little songs, and there was one little piece on it, which was the chorus for Even Though.
The song called Even Though. This was a song that John had written a number of years ago, and we'd had it around, and I said, this is something we really have to pull out and put into this, but it didn't have a chorus yet. And interesting thing about that is we were just about to write a chorus, and I was sifting through some old cassettes that I had from several years back, and I came across something that said, Even Though chorus. And I looked at that and didn't remember it at all. I found an old cassette player, I put it on, listened to it. I swear I don't even remember recording it, but it was a session that John and I had many years ago, where we apparently wrote a chorus for it. And it turned out to be the perfect chorus. We put it all together, and we just think it's, a gift from somewhere, because neither of us remember doing it.
Even though I'm trying hard to smile, thinking all the while it wasn't meant to be. Even so, it's hard to let you go.
So the Even Though solo was interesting. That song was such a grand song, leading, sort of melancholy, but just leading up to, just sort of a big lyrical guitar solo. It actually went down really, really easy. It was just a few minutes, and that thing came out, and you have the right sound, you have the right environment, and that kind of stuff happens.
It's Eric and John with Vegas with Randolph. We're here at Inner Ear Studios, where Don Zentera is inside right now, very busily mastering our new CD, Above the Blue. Come along with us. We're going to go sneak in, look over his shoulder, be very quiet.
If you put out good material, and I think VWR does, it's pretty easy to get folks to really, hear it and grasp it and all that kind of stuff. It's been pretty cool to watch how, in this day and age, how the whole machine works.
It's amazing to me how generous people are. We worked, mainly with three big contributors, Wim Aldijk, Maxie Dunn, and Vinnie Zumo. Each one of them are excellent musicians, and they brought so much to each song that they worked on. And I think really they made our songs much better than they would have been had we done them on our own. And I'm thankful that they took their own time to help us put the songs together. And then we had a number of other musicians that came in and helped us with other parts of the songs. And so you know, the fellowship and the friendship and the musical artist community just continues to overwhelm me, and it's, you know, hope we can repay that kindness to others in the future.
The band is really thankful and grateful to so many people who have supported us over the last couple of years while we made this album. Everybody who either helped out musically or donated to the artwork, helped create videos, the live shows, all of that. There's been so many people, way too many to name here, but you and everyone who's taken an interest, we really thank you.
Here it is. I think you should enjoy it.
You got to listen to Vegas with Randolph CD. It's absolutely important. It's required. How's that?